Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you an update on the Season 5 ladder map pool. Now, for those of you guys who do not watch and keep up with Battle.net or haven't even seen this article just quite yet, this article's actually been out for quite some time, over a week now, but no one even pointed it to my attention, so here I go. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, Season 4 is about to conclude, so any of you guys out there would still have bonus points, go ahead and try to use them up. They may have already concluded already by the time you watch this. Now, what they really said, or what I believe David Kim and some of the guys from Blizzard said, was that they didn't want spawning to the left or spawning to the right, that rotational probability to really play all too much of a factor. So they have decided to remove Abyssal Caverns and Nurzim Crypt. I'm not quite too surprised about this. There is also Antigua Shipyard that also plays into this just a little bit, but because it is rather larger even by air, if you spawn to the left or to the right, they decided not to remove Antigua Shipyard. Now, the two maps that will be added in their place will be Arid Plateau and Entombed Valley. Let's go ahead and take a look at Arid Plateau first. The spawning locations, if you guys can't see them right off the bat, is on the top left and bottom right hand sides of the map. Now, there are a number of options for a third base here. Your natural expansion or your main base area is rather large. You can take a look at a lot of different, you just have a lot of real estate to work with. And there is also a lot of dead zone around the map, so drops may be viable as well. Drops perhaps hiding up in here or hiding down in here and then trying to rush in after the drop has been unloaded. Now, you got to be careful. After this very natural expansion here, you have two options for expansions. You either have this expansion that's a little bit out front of your base. It is rather wide open and a little bit difficult to defend. And then there's also this high ground expansion here. But this high ground expansion is a little bit closer to your opponent and it also has this second entrance through destructible rocks. So this you will have to be careful about. There is also a high yield or a gold mineral patch as well, and all three of these bases are relatively close to your natural expansion. It's going to be one of those things where taking your third, you're not instantaneously going to know which third you want to take or which third your opponent's going to take. They may try to go for the high yield. They may try to go for this expansion or even this expansion. So, keep track of the map. You're gonna have to keep track of the map and just figure out where that expansion is going to be. There are two Xel'Naga towers, one over here on the left, one over here on the right. I believe that they're going to cover about this much area and this much area here, so Zerglings will have a place to hang out early in the game. Now, moving on, talking about the rush distances, even though this is a 2v2 map or a 1v1 map, the rush distances, they say, are similar to Shakura's Plateau based upon the running distances or on the longest distances on Metalopolis. So because of that, I don't expect too many crazy rushes, but a couple of points of concern. There are a lot of places where cheese can happen. Pylons, you have to cover, or you have to make sure that you have sight all along this south side here, and same thing all along this north side here, as proxy gateways, cannons, powering from the low ground up onto the high ground may become an issue for you. Now, also things that have become really popular is that Forge Fast Expansion, and I believe Protoss should be able to Forge Fast Expand pretty easily. They're going to be able to put up a Nexus here, and then with one pylon here, essentially complete that wall, since there is some natural terrain, but they do still have to worry about units coming in from this side. So that does make the natural expansion a little bit more exposed. It's not going to be an instantaneous Forge Fast Expand by Naniwa on this map. He may figure out how exactly he wants to do it, but we'll have to go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and move on to Entombed Valley. Entombed Valley, a four spawning location, and this map actually looks very similar to a map that was removed. So just gonna go ahead and talk about this. You're on this map, you start on a very high elevation, on that third elevation, and there are four spawning locations, one on each corner. Your natural expansion is very close, very easy to defend, but you do have a little bit of a wider opening. Another benefit on this map, though, say compared to Shakura's Plateau and this double ramp, is that you also have a very close third. Zerglings will be able to take down these rocks a little bit more easily. just because the backside of those rocks are exposed as well. So you can have 8 to 10 Zerglings working on one side, 7 to 10 Zerglings working on another. The walking distance isn't too far. And then once you get those creep tumors down, protecting this third will be really easy. After that, though, your map choices and your expansion choices are fairly limited. And if you do spawn on the same side of the map or next to each other on the top or on the bottom, I'm not sure if they're gonna force that, then the expansion in the middle is not going to be available to you. All the other expansions are far away or blocked by destructible rocks, which are going to make it a little bit more difficult to try to get into position as well. So this is going to be, hold on, our goals when you start working. Minimizing. Okay, so all right, so it looks like you can spawn anywhere next to your opponent in this particular matchup. So the game and these maps are pretty balanced. The center does have a Zelnaga tower, I believe. I can't quite see it. I believe there is a Zelnaga tower there, but it is surrounded in brush. And the center is going to be where the majority of fights happen. The side pathways are a little bit more difficult, and this map is really going to depend on whether or not you spawn north or north south. They may try to force north south. Now that I look at this map, as north positions just don't feel all that natural or all that comfortable. North south, you do have multiple routes into each other's base. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys think about these maps, and hope to see you guys on Battle.net.